Okay, welcome back to part 2 of our triathlon training in the UK summer down in Cornwall.
So picking up from where we left off,
posting pictures on the gram so
Purple effort up the climb. Better put my GoPro away then.
Ever since you came around, I've never been sober, always in my head. Met you at a time when I was so low.
the plan the previous day, we were going to swim at Gwyvion Bay, but the water conditions were too rough. And actually we cycled past St Michaels Mount that day and realised that the sea conditions there were absolutely lovely for swimming in. So we decided that we would come back the following day and do a pretty epic swim up and down the bay, but when we got in again, the weather started to change and it started to get really choppy. And we probably should have picked up the signals that that was going to happen from the amount of kite surfers that suddenly turned up. So we got in, we swam, we had a really, really good time, and we probably swam around 4 to 5k, I'd say, something like that. Paz came on the sup board. I think he had more of a hard time than we did. He was getting blown in one direction and really smashing it the other way, and said that he was barely able to stand up at some points as well. So just shows how windy it was there.
Yeah, so we had planned to maybe do a swim round St Michaels Mount, which St Michaels Mount is definitely one of my favourite places in the whole world. It's just such a cool place to go and visit, and I know that a lot of open water swimmers have that swim route on their bucket list. But having looked on Instagram a couple of days ago and seeing the size of the basking shark that was spotted there, I'm pretty glad we didn't, and we just stayed in the bay. And we looked back on some of our drone footage and photos and saw that there was a seal in there, and we never actually saw the seal whilst we were swimming, which I'm pretty glad about, because that probably would have scared us a little bit, and I don't think we would have got our 5k swim done if we'd spotted some sea creatures in there. So other than that, it was a really nice swim. I think we were averaging about 1:15, maybe a little bit quicker. It started off a bit quicker and got slower as the choppiness came in, but as Reece said, there was a lot of kite surfers out there, which were really nice to us actually, because they moved over to the left and let us swim over on the right, and then kind of kept an eye on us, and we had to have our big glowing tow float so they could see where we were. So yeah, that was a nice swim.
Promise you won't let me drown.
So after the swim, we warmed up, had a cup of tea in the van, and then we headed off for a run. We ran along the coast to Penzance, which is about 5k away. Did a little lap around the town there and then ran back. And for the data people, that was a little bit more of a faster run. We were averaging around 3:45 per kilometre, so it was a bit of a tempo effort. A little bit slower on points where we were actually running on the sand, but on the way back we had a really nice tailwind, so we were bumming along.
Yeah, it's always nice to have the tailwind on the way back, because then you feel good on the way home and you're a bit more tired. But again, really nice run. The sun seemed to go away for the run, which was a shame, but still a lovely place to run with nice views, and good to actually get some speed in the legs as well. So the following day we decided to do our epic triathlon, which is going to be our next video, so make sure to stay tuned for that one because it's going to be super cool. There's some great shots and you'll see me and Reese getting our first triathlon of the year done.
You have to stay tuned because so much happened during that. Some good, some bad, some funny, that we decided to make a separate video out of it. So yeah, looking forward to sharing that with you at some point soon.
Okay, so following our epic triathlon, we felt that we had earned a rest day, so we decided to take a trip to the Eden Project, which is somewhere where we've actually done the park run there in November when we were training for Challenge Daytona. Both of us put in some solid 5k runs, but we never actually went and looked around and explored inside. So we decided to take the trip there, have a look at the different biospheres, the different climates, and just take a bit of downtime, which was just really nice as we don't often get to do that. So
yeah, really nice day. As I say, not often that we get to just take a nice day off and get to do something, especially now with the lockdown restrictions that have been in place, and now they're slowly being lifted, which was really nice. And then that evening we decided we was going to go to Polesheath Beach and spend the evening there, have some dinner on the beach. They've got some amazing little pop-up market shops so everyone can keep socially distanced, and in an outside environment. We had fish and chips and we popped the roof of the van, watched the sun go down, played a little bit in the sea, did some surfing, had a few beers, and yeah, pretty much felt like we was on holiday, which was really, really nice, and felt pretty refreshed after that. So our last day in Cornwall was really nice because Lucy's parents came down and they were staying the following week, so we decided that we would go and meet them and spend the day with them before heading home. So I cycled from where we were staying in Port Isaac to Perrin Port, and it was probably the best weather we'd had.
Okay, so we're here in sunny Perrin Port. The plan is for me and Reese to swim all the way to the cliff end up there, which is just over 3 kilometre swim, and then possibly run back, walk back or swim back. We haven't decided yet. We'll see how long it takes us to swim down there. But it looks lovely. We've just got a few surfers to dodge. We've got our tow floats so you can spot us all the way out there, and it should be really nice actually. I mean, I've been to Perrin Port as a kid so many times on holiday, and I'd never seen the sea that calm. There was still a bit of swell in there, but I've never seen it calm enough to think I could actually swim the whole bay. So we were like, we've got to do this, we should tick it off. And the contrast of what the weather was like on that day compared to the day that we did our epic triathlon, which you will see in our next video, is just unbelievable. You would not believe it was in the same week. So yeah, the weather was so good, we decided to swim the whole bay together. I think there was some dodgy riptides going on as well though, because we really could feel those. Luckily we knew somewhat what to do with those so we could swim out of them, but you can definitely see how rip currents can be super dangerous. So if you're swimming about in the sea anywhere, do be aware of those because they're quite scary.
Yeah, so we had tow floats on, and because we were aware that there are riptide currents along Perranporth Beach, we made sure that we stayed waist deep the whole way along, so that if there was a problem we could just put our feet down and, you know, get out of the situation. So yeah, definitely be careful with that.
Yeah, good. That was 49 minutes of swimming and 3.3k, although Reese got 3.4, so we'll go with somewhere in the middle of that. But we've never been able to swim on this beach because it's normally actually quite choppy and really, really calm out there, although we did sort of get caught in a riptide and it felt like we weren't even moving and we had to kind of diagonally swim into shore. But really, really nice to be able to swim here. We've never done it before, the whole bay, so yeah. And the sun was out and now we're actually going to tan more than our hands on the walk back, which is good. so normally this time of the year we'd probably be at races like Challenge Roth and then going away on our second major camp of the year in preparation for the Worlds and the big races that would be coming in the second half of the season. Obviously these aren't happening this year, and as soon as we got the green light in the UK to go and train somewhere else, stay away from home, obviously we've got Reese's parents' holiday home down in Cornwall, so we were lucky enough to be able to go and stay there, which normally we only ever get to do in our off season. Our families normally go down, like Reese said, in the summer. They have a lovely holiday. We're normally off training somewhere and can't go. So for us it was a real luxury to be able to do this, something that we probably won't get to do again for some time, but we've actually learned that we really can train well down there, so potentially we could go down in a normal year now and have a great little training block, do some adventure training and just get that real bit of fun back into our training. So it's been completely different but added a nice little bit of spice to our training that kept us going without mini races on the horizon.
So thank you for watching part 2 of our Cornwall training in the UK video. If you enjoyed this one, then don't forget to check out part 1 by clicking here.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for our epic Cornwall Triathlon, which is coming up next. You're not going to want to miss this.
Lovely.